Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck this place!
too many inside references The scariest thing about every conspiracy theory is that just like there is no conspiracy and the world has no rules and we live in chaos. Like there's a million people being greedy, doing bad things, and they just happen to, in some ways, to coincide.
Yeah.
Like, sure, there's people who are
They like each other for this one thing they do.
Well,
together.
there are like sex trafficking rings for sure, but are the Democrats in charge of the biggest one? No, there's just a bunch of them, and they're all very bad. You know what I mean? That to me is the saddest part about all conspiracy theories. Welcome back, Chris. Thanks.
That was a perfect spot to jump in.
I thought so too.
What I was just talking about right before I got on here too.
I hope that's where Chase starts the pod too. So like all listeners,
that's probably where I'm gonna have to start it. We like to do a bit of an in media res sort of thing.
Like to start every pod with just Chase on a rant about sex trafficking.
Sex trafficking and the Democrats. Can't separate
sex trafficking and my role in it. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. But again, I do think it's sad. I think it's sad that the reality.
I think it's pretty sad too. It's a real bummer every time I hear that.
Yeah, let me get that. First and foremost, let me set the record straight.
Very sad.
Not for it. Not for it.
Maybe I should intro the podcast now. Welcome to Fuck This Place, the podcast about jobs. Not whatever we were just talking about, with Chase and Nick. My name is Chase.
My name is Nick, and with us today, fantastic stand-up comic. You've seen him on Jimmy Kimmel. His album Brain Thoughts is on Special Things Record, but he's with us here today, Mr. Chris Charpentier. How you doing, Chris?
Right on. Thanks, guys. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Surviving.
You just brewed yourself some coffee?
Dude, hell yeah. Huge cup.
Nice.
You coffee dudes?
I enjoy a cup.
You say no, Chase?
No, I as you may have already observed, I have a bit of a excitable personality, and I don't need any more encouragement to like rev up.
Got it.
So,
Sure.
I have had caffeine before.
Sure.
I've done
That's
it.
Good.
But
like ninth grade birthday parties.
It's really I stayed up all night.
Get ready for a sleepover.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Got too scared. Couldn't sleep for the next 3 days.
Called my mom, have her come pick me up.
I have a rule that I cannot, and this is a really hard rule, cannot have any caffeine whatsoever after 2:30 p.m.
Oh, you're a fucking party animal.
And the truth is, it's better just not to engage at all. So that's
good.
What
tough
happened?
it out in the mornings.
I know we got to get to the game, but like, what happens to you? Like what?
With caffeine, I think about how fast I can talk normally. Just like Nick, you've seen me speak a lot.
Yeah,
and I can talk real fast, and it's just more of that. It's just sort of like I one time had like a Dr. Pepper at 9 p.m.
And fuck. Yeah. Was it your birthday or like? And
it was my birthday. I was feeling pretty wild, and my belly was real full of cake, and my tum hurt, and my friend who was hanging with me was like, Chase, this isn't bad. It's just that like it's like 9 p.m. Chase is now afternoon Chase, and it's 9 p.m. And so like none of us want any of that. And I'm like, you're absolutely right.
Now that I've reached my advanced age, I can't have coffee after a certain time, but it's like 8 p.m.
Yeah, sure.
So I feel you. Otherwise, I just have a hard time sleeping.
You just
hard time sleeping, and then I'm grumpy.
You're not like shattering windows in the neighborhood like Chase.
No. My friends still like me. I just have a hard time sleeping.
Right. Yeah, I've lost a lot of friends. So, Chris, our first segment on every podcast that we typically do, usually right away, but sometimes we take some time, is a segment that we call "Fuck This Place?" ? Where we decide if we would work somewhere or not. And so we've actually looked up some Craigslist posts from the mostly Denver Craigslist from your neck of the woods, because you're from Lafayette, Colorado.
I'm from Broomfield, Colorado.
Broomfield.
But Denver, it's all a suburb of Denver. So
yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to read 3 Craigslist titles. You're going to pick the one you don't want to look at, and then we'll look at the other 2, just like we're browsing Craigslist.
Okay.
So first job title is, in all caps, I should say, Badass Pond Builders. Job title number 2.
Pond? P-O-N-D?
P-O-N-D.
Okay.
As in, I assume a body of water. But I can tell no further because that's just the title. And then second title is Snow Removal, Colorado. Here we go. And then last one is Nuts Who Want Big Bucks. So which one do you not want to click on? The Badass Pond Builders, Snow Removal, or Nuts Who Want Big Bucks?
Snow removal. Get that out of here. I'm tired of that shit.
Yeah.
I moved to California for a reason. I do not like the cold. I'm over it.
Yeah.
So snow removal. I mean, you're fine. You're probably in a big truck, which is fun to drive, and you probably are warmer than you'd think because you just get to sit in that big truck. But still, no, thank you.
Nonetheless, you're gonna have to get out of that truck. You know,
that's right.
It's gonna be cold, and it's gonna be cold because it's snow.
Early as fuck.
No. Yeah, making a bunch of Mr. Plow jokes to yourself. How long can that go for? You know,
not that long.
Well, then let's just take a look at post number 1, which is Badass Pond Builders. Because I feel like we'll save Nuts Who Want Big Bucks for later.
I do like how it starts off.
It does. It does. I really enjoy the greeting. The text begins, no pictures. Yeah. It says, hello again, which didn't know that had met before.
This is my first time, but thank you.
It is fun to think that this person was at your door and then you said no and shut the door. Then you walked to your kitchen and they were standing in the window on the other side and saying, hello again.
Yeah.
That does have that vibe of like, I'm not welcome, but we are for some reason together.
But I am here.
Or it also gives off the vibe that this job has been available for a long time.
Could be.
This guy keeps putting the same fucking post up. For years, and everybody who's been looking he says, "Oh, hello again." I know this.
Yeah, I know you. This is Bob. This ad produced 2 fantastic employees last time, so we're doing it again. So that I guess explains the again to them. Again, not to me. Okay. They have no idea what I'm going through.
Right.
Professional
I feel silly. I should have read ahead.
Yeah. Professional Ponds, I guess that's our company name, is looking to expand our team to serve our ever-growing customer base. Ever-growing. We have steadily grown our business and are opening a new location. We are seeking hardworking, dedicated team players. Our goal is to be Colorado's largest pond and water feature company by delivering superior products and excellent customer service. All right. If you are, now here begins the accusations. If you are lazy, don't apply, all caps. If you are not a team player, don't apply.
Oh, I'm out.
If you are not wanting to be part of a team, different from team player, don't apply. I should note that the last 2 don't applies changed from a apostrophe to a quotation mark, I guess, due to the fervor of typing. If you want to have fun and grow with a team, do apply.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please forward a resume of qualifications, and then compensation just says varies with experience, and employment type is full-time. And that's the post.
I'll be honest. I'm down.
Okay.
I would apply. I don't love digging ditches, which I'm guessing that's what a pond is, just a big ditch.
Starts as a ditch. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't love that part, but I have a feeling if they're trying to be Colorado's largest pond maker and water feature company, I'm guessing they got a fucking backhoe for that shit. I'm just guessing. So I'm guessing I'm not going to be doing a lot of back breaking.
Well, you're gonna be doing some digging, but you're probably not gonna be digging the main pond. There's gonna be some wheelbarrows for sure.
I can handle all that stuff. I kind of like that stuff. So just as long as there's a limit to it, I'd like to maybe if I get to be in charge of giving suggestions on what I think would look cool.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of fun. Do I have? And I would stress less ponds, more water features.
Yeah, you want to be a waterfall guy.
Less water features, more water slides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Type of thing. Like from out of your house into your car.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to I'm gonna maybe try to change the company a little bit, but I'm gonna at least gonna apply.
I'm into the suggestions for sure. I'll be like, yeah, maybe like Godzilla or monster toys around the pond to make it give a feeling of like some sort of turmoil at this pond. I want to feel like creatures come get their water here.
That could be fun. It could be like the La Brea tar pits, but with water, and you have like one like halfway fallen in, and you could pretend like it's drowning and dying and stuff. All your kids could play around with it. It'd be fun.
Just pitching these scenarios to like 60-year-old men who are really tired while you're wheelbarrowing and stuff like that. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we put like a lot of, but like an ironic rubber duck, you know? Like we're kind of winking at it.
You can get one like extra big too, not even like a little one.
Just want a fucking pond in my backyard, you piece of shit.
Yeah. Just want to see some koi for fuck's sake.
This is my wife's idea. I don't give a shit.
I do think, Chris, that they're the all caps in the post. Limited all caps. It's not like forever. It just I do think that it implies that a certain enthusiasm would be received well there.
I agree. I do agree with that. I also, I'm not gonna lie, I love being a part of a team.
Okay.
I'm a real team guy.
Okay.
But that being said, it needs to be a real team. There can't be like one guy in charge bullshit and then I'm on the team. We're all a team.
It can't be a faker team.
Yeah.
Right. So then again, that makes me think that I'll have a chance to put in some input on what I think it should look.
Absolutely. I think for instance, team stretching in the beginning of the workday would be really nice.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of at the end of the day, highs and lows. What do people think about the day? Be really great. My high was when the guy listened to me about Godzilla idea. My low was when he didn't accept my Godzilla idea in any way and decided that he just wanted some rocks around it.
I also think it'd be fun to ride the bus. I miss riding the bus with my team from like home games to away games kind of thing. So riding the bus would be fun. I assume we all gonna ride together to work.
Plus jerseys.
Jerseys are fun. I love having my name. Do I get to pick my number? Because that's pretty fun. I hope.
I would hope so. I guess my question is, I mean, Chris, you would probably know this better than me, but this post is coming up in January. I'm sure that it's possible to build ponds in the winter.
Sure.
But aren't you doing a lot of snow clearing before that happens?
There's at least that there might not be snow on the ground all the time, but that ground is fucking frozen. I'll tell you that much. And you're not gonna be super into wanting to dig or do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? I mean, you're going to have to... Again, maybe I should have stayed in that warm truck and for the snow plowing.
But then again, this is a team thing.
This is a team thing. I assume that maybe then we could do like the penguins, where we all just kind of bundle into each other for heat and go around each other in a circle for whatever months.
Months. I was gonna say 15 minutes.
Whatever it takes to warm each other up.
The more you like pitch that, the more it's like I see like it's gonna be fucking cold, and then like below that fucking cold, like I see above the ground there, a lot of times it's gonna be cement. People, it's not just gonna be people who have just dirt pits in their backyard and they're the only ones who want it. There's gonna be people who like want to break up the cement that they had or whatever,
right?
And then so it's like even if they have a like a Bobcat or whatever machine that's going to mostly do it, that cleanup is going to be balls.
That's true. But
I will say, good.
I was just going to say, I've done that kind of work before and it sucks, dude. It's balls. There's no doubt about it. It's balls when you don't want balls.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Super balls. But at the end of those days, man.
Yeah, that man feeling.
For sure. You've never felt more accomplished.
Your fucking forearms, like
oh yeah.
Just from holding
you deserve the 15 beers that you're going to drink yourself that night. When you think about how terrible your life is, you deserve all those beers.
Yeah, no one's going to stop you.
No way.
I will say there is, there is a benefit, if you're considering
Mm-hmm.
manual labor, there is a benefit to like the landscaping world in that there's more room for error. It's not like you're inside painting someone's bedroom where they're going to notice every fucking thing you do. It's just a little bit more rough around the edges. Obviously there's going to be, you know, some times when you do have to be super detail oriented and you got to pour the concrete or whatever the fuck it is. But you're also not in their space if you're doing home construction. You know what I mean? You're not in their living room, inconveniencing them in a major way. Yeah, you're parking in their driveway. Yeah, you're doing a bunch of shit. But like in the end, the workspace is still kind of yours. So there's some benefit. And again, benefit to the team building aspect.
Absolutely. You can spit while you're working.
You can spit.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can spit in that ditch.
Right in it. Doesn't matter. Cool. You're trying to fill it up.
Having a job where you can spit, very underrated.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
true.
100%.
Wow. I would also like to say, again, this is just very like semi-serious job stuff. It also, since they're growing, it also seems like if you get on this team and if you're okay, there's a chance that you could like move into leadership and or get yourself out of the field, so to speak. If you're like, this kind of sucks, I want to work in the pond store where everybody comes in and like picks out their pond or whatever, you know.
Yeah, put me on dispatch.
Yeah, put me on dispatch. Correct.
Because I assume they're making them real fast. So you got to, you know, they're getting calls every day, multiple times, like pizzas. Quick, we need a team to the Jeffersons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh shit, can I get a pond for this Saturday? Like,
we need a triple waterfall this Saturday.
Exactly. No, we need a pond for this Saturday, and then we need it gone by Sunday. So my parents are coming back.
You know those kids. Kids love kegs and ponds.
Oh yeah.
Of course there is.
Let's have a ponder this weekend.
Keg pond.
The kids are just drinking pond scum. Although I will say there's also danger if they are actually busy as fuck that they just really need you to grind it out for a long time on those teams. And you're you know, like we're actually quite busy and we really need as many people hands, you know, moving rocks as possible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that this job is going to be anything like the much cooler scenarios that we have pitched.
No.
But so for that reason, I'm going to say no. I think this is mostly going to suck, so I'm out. But if it's anything like what we said, I'm definitely in.
I'm gonna say if I knew somebody that was there that had a little more info, I would definitely be a lot more in. And I would say at a different era of my life, I would consider it because there was like, you know, post college I did do like some landscaping and stuff that like it was a decent time. I did it in Oregon where it wasn't cold as balls, but so I'm gonna say medium. I'm gonna say like I would consider, for instance, contacting them and getting the vibe. And also, again, I do think that if you don't have a lot of experience, a little enthusiasm could make up for it. So medium.
Yeah, I'm going for it. I would definitely apply. I want to at least see what's going on. I want to see what they're offering for that starting pay. It's gotta be a grip, to be honest, for me to do this. But I'm at least gonna see what's going on because I also have a feeling there's the potential that sometimes jobs like this, if you just show up and you're not an idiot, you're moving up quick.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah. 3 months, you could be.
Yeah. I'm at least seeing what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, then post number 2. Oh, good.
We also, sorry, I just thought of this. One last thing that we didn't talk about. You finish that pond. At the end of the workday, you get to take a dip. And that's pretty nice.
In every pond, that's in your contract.
I mean, the customer might not want to do it, so you might have to do it sly. But I can get naked fast. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to dig it real deep. Why is this pond 6 feet deep in one spot?
That's great. Okay.
Okay. Let's take a look at post number 2. Nuts who want big bucks. And
we're sure he didn't mean butts, right?
This is you found this in the job postings, correct?
100%.
Okay.
Nuts who want big bucks.
Okay.
Okay, the post begins. Not a lot of cash. Text here. Snowboarding type rockers who want fat cash. Cannot emphasize this enough. Fat is spelled with a PH.
That's
fat
right.
cash.
Pretty hot and tempting cash.
Exactly. Pretty 2002 cash. Sales and delivery, DJ and pro audio equipment. Exclamation point. These are all exclamation points. Just assume there's exclamation points from the get. Must like loud music.
Mm-hmm.
not a specific genre. I mean,
Just loud.
It's just got to be really loud.
Must
Yes.
have valid driver's license. Earn up
Uh-huh.
to $2,000 per week.
Yeah,
paid.
it's weird that they yelled that too. Must have valid driver's license.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. They could have put a period here. They really
Yeah.
could have just. We know.
Mhm.
It's delivery. We get it. Earn up to $2,000 per week. Paid training. No weekends. Oh, company vehicle. Must like loud music again.
Again.
And then
Uh-huh.
call Larry. And there's an 800 number to call, not a regular number,
Ooh.
an 800 number. And the compensation, just to be more realistic, says $1,000 to $2,000 per week.
Mhm.
And then employment type full time.
Mhm.
And
Full
that's
time.
the post.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I don't know anyone named Larry. Like, I don't.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I ran into a
It's-
Larry
it's
that I
weird
trusted.
that-
That's for sure.
It's weird that someone would be so enthusiastic and into like DJ equipment and willing to give me all this money and be named Larry. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
that
I
his
feel like,
name isn't like.
why isn't his name
Grip
Zach
or something or
Yeah,
Zach?
like-
yeah,
like, you know,
or
like
Spike or.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, dude, a brand new skydiving company. Call Harold. You're like, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are wrong about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
even know that I noticed how weird Larry was,
Yeah, by the
Because
time
of-
we got to Larry, I was pummeled with exclamation points.
but I'm glad that you picked up on that. My first problem is really that first sentence. And I don't know, have you guys been to Colorado at all?
I've been through it, I've been around it, but I've
Mhm.
not spent a lot of time.
I
in it.
have not. I have a cousin that lives out there, and I keep wanting to go out there, but he hasn't texted me back.
Well, he's getting fat cash, dude.
Yeah,
my
I hope
fat
so.
cash. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Is that I have a feeling this might be a bit of a scam
Okay.
type of a thing. One, I don't like that 800 number.
No,
Never
Uh-huh.
like applying for a job with an 800 number.
no, you don't.
Right. Correct.
But more specifically, snowboarding type rockers who want fat cash.
Mhm.
Yeah, familiar.
Colorado is filthy with them.
Oh, absolutely. That's how
That's
most
targeted.
Tinder profiles start.
That is a targeted ad. Snowboarding type rockers who want fat cash. I mean, that was me and all of my friends. So
for years.
For years,
Yeah.
truly.
Yeah.
Snowboarding type rockers. What the fuck does that mean?
The snowboarding adjacent is what he
Yeah.
means.
Uh-huh.
Means that you like flat cap, like
Hats,
hat
absolutely.
cap with the flat bill.
Yep,
Mhm.
Love smoking weed. That's a huge
Absolutely.
thing.
absolutely.
Don't mind taking a couple of mushrooms, like microdosing mushrooms.
Sure. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, just to get through the day,
Well, and making fat cash.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's important.
Bottom line, fat cash.
Yeah.
This
Absolutely.
does sound. It's a bit of a hacky joke, but it does sound like a cop wrote this, right? Like it's
Yes.
just like it's a little bit like, how do they talk snowboarding type rockers who want fat cash? And there's like one
Absolutely.
guy who saw Money Talks years and years ago. That was like, oh, you spell it PH actually.
Right.
That
Yeah.
does not. This one is not very. This one's not tempting to me. Really,
No,
at all.
not really.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have another qualm here, and it's
Mhm.
just that I know you you said we must like loud music twice,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
why
Mhm.
if all I'm doing is delivering?
Mhm.
It says sales and delivery, which again, that big red flag that you're doing sales and delivery at the same.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's not
There
good.
should be a salesperson and a delivery person, but either way, you deliver the DJ and pro audio equipment. What about the time when speakers make sound, right? You have to unplug them, right, to take them somewhere. Where's the sound coming from? Is it just the van? He's like,
Yeah, that's
We-
exactly right.
we
You
listen-
better believe. Yeah, you get to drive because you get the company vehicle, but he rides shotgun
Mhm.
and he listens to music loud.
Yeah.
Larry doesn't fuck around.
And it doesn't matter what it is. Celine Dion, Paula
Mhm.
Abdul. It's
Uh-huh.
11.
Yeah.
Or just listens to the radio.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Or-
Oh, it's called
like-
it's 98.6 The Brew or whatever.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He's just like he's just like, oh, like, yeah, I hate this song, but can you turn it up? Because it's got to be louder though, is the thing.
That's the
Absolutely.
thing.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, big red flags across the board.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I will say, as far as marketing goes, nuts who want big bucks, incredible title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
caught
that
my
does,
eye.
it does catch the eye, but it doesn't make sense.
No,
No, not at all.
I don't. What? So I'm nuts in this
Or I have
situation.
Yeah.
Do I have to be crazy to work here?
Yeah.
I don't understand, and I also still don't really get what it would be that like you said, I don't like that you're both the sales and delivery team.
Yeah, doesn't sound good. Sounds like it's just you and Larry. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And
All I can think of when I think of this Larry guy is that Simpsons character that I can't. Well, I don't know what his name, but he's got the long. Is it the bus driver?
Otto. Yeah.
Otto.
I love to get blocked out.
I feel like best case scenario, that's Larry. You know what I mean? Like absolute best case.
Oh, that's best case. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Because Otto's all about good vibes. I think Larry's all about sales.
Yeah, and for all we know, maybe Larry's partially deaf.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
because
why
he loves
he's like,
loud music.
Yeah, and he's just like, I can't even hear it.
Yeah, he needs to blast it up for his cochlear implants. Yeah, again, it's just I'm borderline afraid. So
I'm pissed that it wasn't a lot sexier with nuts who want big bucks.
So yeah, I'm gonna say fuck this place. I'm scared of Larry.
Yeah. I'm gonna say if this was real, I'd do it. I'd do it, but it is definitely not
I think
even a little real.
If this is real, you would somehow end up doing it.
Sure.
It's not that you would volunteer. It's just something would happen in your
that's
life.
fair. That's more accurate.
And you would arrive there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this is also, I'm with you guys. No to this one at least. No, thank you. And I just noticed one last thing. This is a very local thing. But as far as underneath the map, it says for the location of the job, it says I-25 near 70th Avenue. You don't want to. That's not a.
You don't want to be there.
Work there. You don't want to work there.
Larry.
Really?
It's like out in the boons of Denver. Like it's a weird spot to be. You don't really want to work there.
It took a long time for me to see Denver on the map when I zoomed out.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to work there.
That is very far from Denver.
Yeah. Yep. So no, thank you. Is what I say to that.
All right. Well,
on top of many other things, that also just seems like a very generic place for an address. If you're so
no, thank you.
Oh, good to know. Yeah, we're done with you, Larry.
No fucking thank you.
Fuck you, Larry.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Wanted to remind you that you can text the podcast anytime you want.
Night or day, whenever the hell you want.
It's fine. It's the number is 470-BAD-JOBS. The actual numbers are 470-223-5627. That's the number.
So yeah, anytime you want. Like I said, middle of the night, whenever. We don't got jobs right now. Whatever's going on with you is going on with us.
I mean, absolutely. Maybe you still have a job and it's like shitty. You can tell us about that. Maybe you don't have a job and it was shitty before.
Maybe you're getting one of those weird temperature forehead checks right now.
For sure.
And you want to pull out your phone and just say, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm going to text 470-BAD-JOBS.
470-223-5627 is the number. That is the number. And you can also call us if you want, but I mean, whatever. It's your choice. That's the point here.
Chris, what's the first job you ever had?
Ooh, I worked at a Photo Express, 24-hour Photo Express, which was a photo developing place. You could do it in 24 hours or less, it was 1 hour photo. I apologize. 1 hour, but I had the closing shift, and I would tell people often that we were too backed up and we couldn't get theirs done in an hour. They would have to come back the next day. It was too busy. Which was never the case.
Yeah.
Never
you were
ever.
just closing,
and I just worked.
This is a problem for tomorrow's shift.
Well, here's what I would do. Because I would work there alone. I would let all the people come in. I would be like, "Oh, you have to get it tomorrow," and then we would close, or I would close, and then I would smoke a bunch of weed, and then work a bunch of overtime getting those people's photos ready for. They really would only take like 15 minutes, so I could have done it very easily. But I would just wait to get a overtime and get real high while I did it.
Mhm.
Okay, so at what age was this when you were already a diabolical genius?
15 or 16.
15?
16, I think.
The super villain of photos.
So
I was an idiot.
so
I started bad, and it took a long time to
I
get
guess
different.
my question is, how did you learn that you could do that?
Do what?
That you
Smoke
could
weed all day?
Well, no. that you could lie.
Practice.
That they like. You must have had
Oh.
your first shift where you did everything right? And
Sure.
then-
It was wasn't like my first day or anything. It was over a
course.
series of time. Once they ended up letting me work just on my own.
Got
And
it.
it was like, oh, I got this.
Did you notice
But-
other employees doing the same thing, or it was just like
I
this is your
mean-
genius plan?
We kept a pipe at the store.
Okay, yeah.
Like in the back area. So other people were smoking weed, but I don't think other people were doing it the same way that I was.
Other people weren't getting overtime for it.
Mhm,
That's right.
mhm.
hmm
You get time and a
I had
half.
a pretty good scam going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good scam.
So
For a
just to be clear,
16-year-old. I would also
how many
also
hours?
steal from the register.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because
mom
here's the
employee.
deal.
Uh-huh.
Okay. They
What's
would
the
Yeah.
they
What's the
let
deal,
me
Chris?
so they let me close it by myself. First off, they shouldn't have hired me. I did the job interview wearing
Idiots.
I had a Bob Marley shirt on during
Okay.
the job interview. Not my fault.
Yeah, it
I was
wasn't
a
like you just picked one up
16-year-old
from Journeys or
Uh-huh,
something.
uh-huh.
Exactly.
Yeah, you didn't feel like wearing your
16-year-old.
Che Guevara shirt that day, so you went with the Bob
Right.
Marley shirt.
It said like Mystic Freedom or something on it and had pot leaves all over it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
come on. It was just
Yeah,
as much
for
my
sure.
fault as theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
Yeah. I'll-
so
I'll
at the
take
end
that.
of the shift, when I would close, I had at the end of everything, you would have to rewind the security tape. So I would do everything by the book, do it all right, but I would just leave the drawer open a tiny bit. You couldn't even tell. I would look like I closed the drawer
Right.
all the way,
Uh-huh.
but didn't. And then I would go back and rewind the security tape. And while it was rewinding, I would sprint up to the front and take a little bit of cash
Right.
and then sprint to the back. By the
Right.
time it was done,
Uh-huh.
Created your own blind
myself.
Yeah,
Exactly.
something akin to Dennis Hopper's character in the movie Speed, right? Or like with how Keanu Reeves, how they just
Exactly,
put the tape on a loop.
Exactly.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
Exactly.
uh-huh.
It's right
It's-
there.
yeah,
man,
it's
that's
like
so
yeah,
funny.
it's like
I
the
got
movie
you,
Speed.
Wildcat.
Yeah. It's just the movie Speed, but it's just a 1 hour photo, and it's just a
one
16-year-old Bob
stoned
Marley
ass
fan.
kid who's trying to get like
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
S-
Also-
surprisingly, same soundtrack.
Yeah, that was. You pretty much nailed it. I felt
Uh-huh.
like I was getting away with it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I did. I never got
You
in
did.
trouble. When
Yeah.
I did, yeah, I did get away with it. When I quit that job, surprisingly, I quit that job to go to rehab when I was
Yeah.
16. Parents were like, "We need to get your little ass under control."
Mm.
So I had to quit that job, and I was telling the boss, I was like, "I'm going to rehab," and he goes, "Were you ever high at work?" I was like, no,
Buddy,
never. High at work? That's insane.
You were like,
why
I'm,
would-
I'm going to
Sir.
treat my addiction because I was
You're-
ruining my time outside of my
Uh-huh.
employer's time.
Yeah,
Of course.
Exactly. I thought,
This was
oh my God.
only haven. Was this 1 hour photo?
Exactly. If I don't get my shit together, I'm going to
Uh-huh.
start smoking weed while I'm at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's exactly.
Oh.
But he
Take
was
my
like,
solace here, sir.
exactly. He was like, well, when you get out, you have a job waiting for you.
Uh-huh. uh-huh.
You are an idiot. I've been stealing your money. But okay.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
a nice guy.
You walked out to go to rehab, and he was like looking at you and talking to another employee. He was just like, "There goes the finest man I've ever known."
Exactly. There goes my hero.
Yeah.
Little teenager going into drug rehab. Wow, what a good guy.
So how long were you there? How long did you work there?
In drug rehab or in the work?
Well, we'll talk about
place?
rehab too,
Oh.
but
Whatever.
the 24-hour or 1 hour photo. Place.
Oh, I don't know. A couple of months, probably like
Mhm.
4 or 5 months,
Mhm.
something
Mhm.
like that. A little bit. Mhm.
So, aside from, oh no, I guess you did say you're kind of like you're lying to the customers too, because I was trying to figure
Well, yeah,
out
I just want to
like
get a little bit of the how long. Like, so we just want. Maybe I missed it. You showed up at like 6 and lied to them for 4 straight hours and just told every customer that came in, like, no, this will be tomorrow.
No, it was the last hour of work.
Just last hour.
Because it was like 1 hour photo, so it's like, oh, you're in. It's only it takes a full hour, so
perfect.
We can't do it from 5 to 6. You got to come back tomorrow, but that wasn't true at all.
Got it.
It would take 2 seconds, so I could have definitely got it done, but I would just take extra time in that whole hour smoking weed and all of that. We also, this was back in the day. Obviously, there's like no real photo places anymore because everybody else has their own whatever. But we of course had like a book of shame because people would come in and get their nudie pictures developed and stuff. There's nothing like that in the history of anything. It is the funniest shit to see somebody's gross naked pictures and have to see them. You have to see them because you have to check the quality and make sure that it like came out okay. So you have to look at them, and then like they come in.
Like you have to look at them hard enough.
You have to look at every.
What's the color balance on this bare ass?
There you go. And then come in and come to get them, and you just stare them like right in the face and be like, do you want to like check the quality here? And they're like, no, thank you. Just like grab them and leave. They're so fucking embarrassed. It was really a real treat because they knew and you knew and everybody knew and it was very fun.
But they needed these pictures to get developed.
And then you just know that like it's like, oh, this guy walking in has the hairiest balls I've ever seen.
Dude, there was somebody, this is by far the worst one or the weirdest one. There was a dude who went to Mardi Gras and had put his hog into between 2 pieces of bread and was having people take bites out of the bread, like different people. So there was like a bunch of different pictures of him with his dick between 2 pieces of bread, and then that bread slowly disappearing throughout the evening.
So are you like going through it like a flip book? You're like, oh no, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Just disappear.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, it was like, well, that's just this gross old dude's dick and a piece of bread.
He just walks in with like a basket and stuff, and there's like a loaf of bread in there, and he's like, "Hey, Chris," and you're like,
So wait, I'm curious about the first picture. So the first picture, you're like, guys holding bread weird. Like you can't tell that there's a dick sandwich under that bread.
Got beads and a weird mask on.
Well, there was beads and a weird masks. There was also intermittent some boob pictures. So
you're like, oh, kind of tight. Wait, more dick bread.
For 16-year-old Chris, he was all pretty tight. He was like, what is going on? It was all pretty good. There was some really a bad one in the bunch. It was all very exciting. We also would develop the pictures for the Lafayette Police Department.
Oh, shit.
And that's right. And nobody could look at those except for my boss. And they would come in on slides, or they would get them developed as slides. I'm not really sure why. But so then you would have to look at them through like, it makes it sound stupid, like a special piece of equipment. So it would be like looking through a microscope.
At the
like
slide.
A light table or whatever.
But
so it wasn't like you could just look at those real easy. But I did sneak through one. I was like, ooh, I'm going to look at the police pictures, and then saw a for sure murder and was like, not doing that again. It sucked.
This is way less cool than Mardi Gras.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna say then you're like I'm gonna check, and then it's more dick bread.
Oh my god, dick bread strikes again.
Same guy.
Yeah, but he's dead. It's like he's murdered, but he's dead. Oh, someone finally killed him. Someone found out there wasn't anything actually edible in there, and they murdered him.
Or someone just accidentally took a bite out of the dick. Dick's gone. Same guy, just no dick.
The next picture is his like very surprised face. First selfie.
Oh man, that's brutal. And so you're just doing all this, but then also you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna lie to everybody and smoke a bunch of weed and like. This sounds like a hell of an age, a hell of a time.
Dude, it was a pretty good first job.
Yeah,
It's
well,
fun.
and you also, this does happen at regular jobs, like you work at a restaurant or whatever, you learn like, oh, adults are pretty fucked up,
Mhm.
and like
Uh-huh.
you learned it, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
on an exponential scale,
Yeah,
like
pretty quickly.
you're like,
Mhm.
oh, like these adults, that I think, like I had my first job was a dishwashing job, and like everybody who worked in that kitchen, like, just did awful, like did coke or whatever. Like they just they
Sure,
got wasted
yeah.
every night and they came in super hungover or whatever. And I was like, oh, wow. Like once you graduate high school, like you don't have to do anything, but I thought it was just them, I didn't think it was everybody, but you're seeing like a massive sample of just like freaks. And and you're like,
there
well,
was some
so
real
what if I have to
weirdos.
go to rehab? I'm not dick bread guy,
Yeah.
I do love Dick Red Guy. That's gonna be like forever. I'll never forget Dick Red Guy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And he
Interesting.
has already forgotten you,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he's
It's a one
carved
thing.
into your soul, though.
Mhm.
You know him.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
What's funny too is that there's like other people that I worked with who also for sure remember Dick Bread Guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't-
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you those people ever. Like they could be sitting next to me someday and I wouldn't remember. It was
Yeah.
so
Or maybe,
long ago.
well, it could be like the movie It, though, where it's because you guys all left town that your memories, and then like you get one guy who never left, and he calls. He's like, "Yo, Dick Bread Guy's back. You remember the promise we made? We made a promise." And you're like,
Just
"All
one
right,
of
I
those,
gotta
like-
go." Yeah,
Drop your phone.
yeah.
Oh no.
You're all on a plane, heading back to Lafayette, trying to fucking. We gotta stop Dick Bread Guy. He's back. It's been 27 years.
I'm gonna go to Mardi Gras and stop this man.
This madness.
So well then, okay. One last question: how did you get the job? Do you just like wander in there? You obviously didn't have any friends who worked there.
No, man, how did I get that job? Because it was time. Well, I was blowing it. My parents were not pleased with how I was acting.
Yeah, I figured that
blowing it
didn't
lots of different
start
ways.
with the
Mhm.
photo job.
Right.
What
Yeah.
were you doing? You were just smoking weed, or were you getting in fights, or what?
I
Were you just failing
was
school?
no, I had like basically dropped out of school and was smoking a lot of weed and selling acid and doing a lot of acid.
Mhm.
So I was like really going for it. I was doing a lot more than my parents knew. They just knew that I was like
A little
something
fucked
was up.
up.
They
Yeah.
knew I was They knew I was going down a bad road. I don't think they realized how much I had been doing.
Yeah. They never do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So but that job started because they were like, all right, if you want to be like a fucking idiot and not go to school anymore, then you got to start paying for your own shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So they were like, they driven me around to find a job. And I'm pretty sure we just drove and I was like, like old school, just walking into places and being like,
Yeah.
do you need
Yeah.
anybody? And
Of course.
handing in an
Mhm.
application.
Do you need a little boy?
Exactly. Do you need a little idiot? Do you need
need a little
somebody
Bob Marley
stoned all
boy?
the time? Exactly.
Okay, so Chris, that was your first job. What would
Mhm.
you say is the worst job you've ever had?
This is only okay. Well, it's for sure this is my last job that I was doing here in LA, which was,
Okay. Your most recent
Which-
job is your worst.
not what
Down
I'm
the
currently doing. But right before then, I was doing construction, and it sucked. It sucked
Ugh.
real bad.
Yeah.
Only because like I didn't mind some of the work, but it was a
Mhm.
lot of like shitty digging and things that were like miserable. There was that like, oh, I feel like a man and it feels good at the end of the day and all
Love
of
it.
those types of things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, I didn't make any fucking money. That was insane.
Oh,
God, I
man.
worked there for so long and I had never done anything like that before.
Uh-huh.
And didn't realize how really truly undervalued
Yeah.
I really undervalued
Mhm,
myself.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it took a long time before I was like, hey, I need a raise. And then I got a raise. And then it was too late by then. I was like, oh, I should be
Yeah.
making like fucking
Yeah. You were
quadruple
like,
this.
oh, this raise
It's
didn't help
insane.
at all.
Yeah. I worked there for like 5 years and really, truly like hurt my body over and
Yeah.
over in
Uh-huh.
multiple different ways.
Mhm.
Really, truly, but couldn't afford health insurance the
Yes.
entire time.
Uh-huh.
And then my boss also at some point, just in the middle of a couple of years ago, in the middle of everything of 1 year, just stopped having me as a regular employee and started paying me under the table.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. The check changed from like a business check to a personal check, but I
Right.
didn't
You didn't care.
really notice or
Yeah.
care. It didn't make a difference
Uh-huh.
to me. But it did when came time to do my taxes.
Sure did.
Then I was like, oh shit, I don't know how to report this. And it turned into a whole thing. And then this last year, because of the taxes, the pandemic and everything got pressed, and we could like do our taxes, whatever, like 5 or 6 months later
Yeah.
than we should have.
Yeah.
So I was getting ready to do my taxes. I was about ready to lose that job because he suddenly just didn't have any work for us.
Mm.
He was not a great boss. Anyways,
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to get across. So I had to sign up for unemployment.
Mhm.
And I was like, I have no idea how to show that I've been making any money.
Right.
So I have
Oh,
to claim a
fuck.
whole fucking bunch of money on my taxes so that I can do that.
Right.
And so now I owe the government a shitload of money.
So much money.
And I hate that guy. I fucking hate
Oh
my old
God,
boss.
dude.
Yeah,
I was
that's
never
the-
making enough money.
Mhm.
I'm so pissed. And then I got a new job just recently, and I get health insurance, and I'm doing
Mm.
fine.
That's
that
great.
fucking
That's great
bastard.
news.
It's great, but that dude really
Oh, dude,
hosed
that guy
me.
like ruined your life.
Yeah,
for a
he was
while,
really.
you know.
Oh, he really did. I mean, like
he took it out of your body, out of your wallet. It just fucking
real.
personal checks. Oh my
Mhm.
God.
I worked like every holiday. There was
fuck
no. There. Do you remember a few years ago, or maybe it wasn't even a few years ago, whatever? But there was an earthquake on the 4th of July. I don't know if you guys remember that. There was an earthquake a couple years ago on the 4th of July, and I was at work when it happened.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then I remember talking to everybody at night, and everybody was like, "Oh man, it was crazy, like a fucking earthquake." And I was thinking, if I had died in an earthquake at work on the 4th of July, come on, man, that's fucked up. Like that is
I mean,
fucked up. That is
it's
not
fucked
how
up.
you should be dying.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is
man.
a little bit of like you being an American hero, though. But like
Little bit.
It's a very
little bit
American exit
hero.
for all
It's
the
a
wrong
very
way.
American,
reasons.
yeah, you know,
Yeah,
You
but
like
I
that-
didn't die
who's the,
setting off those fireworks. That
No,
or
no.
something like that. That'd be
but
cool.
Who was the guy who was like who took on the train or whatever, like the hammering the nails?
Yeah, that guy,
Um,
John.
Oh man.
Fuck.
Jacob Jingleheimer.
Oh, yeah, John Jacob
Jingleheimer.
Is
that who you're talking about?
Yeah. No, there was like you'd be like a tall tail guy though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chris
okay, yeah.
Charpentier died on the 4th of July. They have a bunch of rhymes for it and shit, and kids would know who you were.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I do want the
That'd
kids
be
to know
kind of
who I
tight.
am.
You know?
That's right. I do want to, and this is not maybe the best word right now. It's maybe a triggering word, but patriot
Mhm.
would be
Yeah.
pretty cool to
That'd
have
be
on my
pretty cool.
tombstone.
Dude, and
I
then
would
like
like
John
that.
Henry. John Henry.
John Henry. Yeah.
Nice.
You'd be like John Henry, and then you like 25 years later they make a horror movie about you that doesn't do very well. You know, it's just like, oh, he's
Yeah.
actually a monster. He comes back on the 4th of July. You know, I see a lot. I mean, I'm trying to make.
I mean,
trying
you
to
still
make
be
soup
dead
out of
though. Just
spit
want to
here,
clear,
but
you
I'm
still
trying.
be dead. you would be dead, which would be the worst part of the story for you.
But only a little bit, honestly.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
I mean, be real.
Yeah.
You really like being alive?
Yeah.
No. So.
I mean, I'm just saying I wouldn't have wanted to go at work.
Yeah.
No one wants to die
sure.
at
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
And on the 4th of July, come on.
No.
Mhm.
So, I guess a couple questions here. What was your role at this construction? I mean, were you just like guy who did shit, or like?
So I got it just, it was me and this other dude building a house.
Mhm.
And if you know anything about construction, that's insane for two people to build a house.
Yeah, it seems bad. I actually,
Very
here's the thing.
dumb.
I don't know
Mhm.
much about construction at all, but I do know that two people on one job of almost any size is bad.
Mhm. And this was huge, and it was insane. The house itself is like 90% concrete.
Okay.
It has a basement in LA. No houses have basements.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Which
They shouldn't.
part of
have
the
basements.
reason
Yeah.
is because they have to be like earthquake safe, so they have to be like twice as deep. You have
Right.
to dig like twice as deep and pour these extremely deep footings,
Right.
which we did all of that shit.
Uh-huh.
It was insane. his idea was that he was going to save money, so he hired people that had no experience.
Right. right.
So
So
he's
you
like,
didn't have
"Oh,
to pay
I'm
them.
gonna and I'm gonna teach you the way that I want
Yeah.
it."
He was
and
like,
it'll be
I'm going to
just you and
hire
me.
dumber people because I think that's better.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Mhm.
And then I showed up and was like, I can do it. And he's like, great. And then and we did, but I did everything there. He and I did everything
Oh, my
from
God.
everything.
Mhm.
There is not a part that we didn't do. But last I checked, he was about the house was about at the same state it was when I left.
Okay.
So we
Uh-huh.
worked on it. I legit worked there 5 years, and it's maybe halfway done.
You worked there for
Oh
5
my
years on
God.
one house.
That's right, his house.
His house.
Wait.
That's right, and then it's halfway done. And the reason I had to quit is because he ran out of money.
Yeah.
He has no money.
So, so this guy was at one point rich or something, and he was like,
I
"I'd like to
think
build
it's
my
his-
own
It's
house."
his family's money. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to
Right.
be a big family investment.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And
So
he
you-
just could have
He shit
built
the
a house
bed.
and had it built in like under 9 months if he wanted to. He just didn't pay.
He's like a master builder. He can build anything,
for it. Mhm,
anything.
mhm.
He designed the house. He's like a
Mhm.
smart dude. He just like
He's
truly
just a bit
the
of a fuck.
definition of like bit off more than he could chew.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had like no idea how to manage a crew and do
For
a whole
sure, he's
thing.
not a construction manager. He's just a guy
Exactly.
who knows how to build shit.
Exactly. So he should have hired a person to
A contractor.
all of
Yeah.
these things.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
instead he tried to do it himself and really
So
shit
how
the
did
bed.
you stumble into it? Was it Craigslist or?
Exactly. Craigslist and dude, it was if I wish you guys could read it would be a good one for that
Mhm.
beginning segment because it's insane.
Yeah.
For a construction job, it was like, what's your experience? Was like maybe the fourth question
Yeah.
on there. The first question was like, what kind of music do you like? The second was like, if you could build anything, what would you build? It seemed more like a vibe check than anything.
Yeah.
It was like,
Sure.
can I sit next to you for 8 hours kind
Sure.
of a
Uh-huh.
thing.
Uh-huh.
But nothing like no tools required, no
Mhm.
experience.
Mhm.
And now having learned and done a lot of stuff at that job
Yeah.
and then done other things, it was like insane.
Yeah.
It was insane, all of it. No
Yes.
job, no construction job ever asks you to come and work without tools.
Correct.
You have to have
Uh-huh.
tools.
Mhm.
And you have to have all of your own tools. You don't borrow tools.
Mhm.
If you don't have something, you have to go and buy it.
Mhm.
This was like, hey, I got everything. Just come. You can use all of my stuff. It was really weird. The whole
Mhm.
situation was
Mhm.
very weird.
So,
But
so talk
terrible
to me about what led you to responding to this person. Like, I mean,
I had just moved here from Colorado.
there we
It
go.
was it was cold all the time.
Yep.
I was like, hey, LA, I could be outside.
Mhm.
I could
Why not?
give that a shot. I've
Mhm.
always wanted to see if I could hang. You know,
Mhm.
I'm a little dude, and I don't
Uh-huh.
have a lot of like a Napoleon thing. I
Mhm.
really don't have
Mhm.
that, but I do have the like. I wonder if I can hang.
Yeah.
wonder
could I
how,
do
like,
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Am I
Yeah, not
strong
like-
enough to pick
I'm
up
not
that
here to
same
like fucking
thing?
own everybody. I'm just here to say, like,
Right.
could I
Yeah,
do
exactly.
it without
Yeah.
destroying myself?
Could I get in the
Exactly.
game and hang? Yeah.
Exactly, and that was the big part of it. But most of it, more than anything, was that I just moved here, and I was like, I need a job. I'll apply for anything,
Mhm.
and I don't want to do something I had already done.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to be a professional comedian immediately. And
Uh-huh,
I'm going to be
yeah.
famous pretty soon. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And I should just get,
I'll just grind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'll just
Thi-
kind of get this whatever job because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You're like, this will be a good bit later on. And then 5 years later.
Your life's
Right.
ruined.
Right. My life is ruined. I want to kill that man. And
Mhm.
yeah, and comedy doesn't exist anymore. So
Yeah. Uh-huh.
everything's
Uh-huh.
great.
Mhm.
Went perfect.
Um,
Case closed.
Just like I planned. I wish I had died in that fucking earthquake.
Mhm.
would have been a good story.
I wish I died in that earthquake. The Chris Charpentier story. How old were you? Did you say when you got this?
That job. So that's 5 years ago. 32.
Yeah. 32 is
Uh-huh.
just is the beginning of well, at the beginning of the end of, I think I could hang on on nothing. You know what I mean? Like on nothing else other than your potential capacity to hang.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was also, I just truly, in all of this and the taxes and all of that shit, for the first time ever was like, okay, I gotta like start making some fucking money.
Yeah, I gotta clean up.
Like
my
it's
fucking
always
life.
kind of, yeah, it's always kind of been like a secondary thought of like, whatever, it's gonna work itself out. Yeah, it's gonna work itself out. And now I'm almost 40, and I'm like, yo, I need to start making some money for the rest of my life, like for real.
Forever.
Mhm.
Like it needs to start now and needs to not stop for,
Exactly.
for years on end.
Exactly.
I get that.
So, yeah. So that was kind of a good realization to have from this job. To be,
Yeah, for
be
sure.
like, oh, it's time to get your shit together.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah. Maybe a little late. Maybe a little late, but that's okay.
Also, do you have
time too?
do you have very man hands? Do you have very like chapped or like calloused hands?
I did, and it's already gone.
Yeah.
Oh God.
They were rock hard. They were like impenetrable for a while.
Yeah.
And now they're back to being weak as hell. They're still kind of strong. Like physically, I can like tighten or whatever. They're still pretty strong, but now if I got a splinter, I'd be a real wimp about it.
Yeah. I have perpetually soft hands. Nothing I've done in my life. Like I've had manual labor jobs. I've played guitar since I was like 16.
Yeah.
Soft.
shredding
Get the
those fingers every
Wolverine healing factor on just my palms.
Interesting.
Insane.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's okay, but then I don't like shaking people's hands because I'm like, here, it's my hand.
Hi, I'm delicate.
Yeah, here's my handkerchief of a hand.
You could just rub your hands on sandpaper right before you talk to him.
Yeah,
and there's
yeah,
like
I
blood
could.
on it. It's like I'm busy.
Yeah.
No, I
Blood
just killed
spit in
somebody.
every handshake. I just killed somebody.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I killed a guy. Go ahead.
Then nobody will care how soft your hand is.
Yeah,
Not at
that's
all.
true. That's true.
Not
That's
one
true.
bit. Man. Yeah, it's worth like making this explicit. I feel like we've talked about this on the podcast a couple of times, but like tax wise, you can get in some big fucking trouble. and the truth is, if you had not needed unemployment, there's a chance you could have skated through on that one. You know, there's a chance.
I could have been totally fine because I was technically not making any money. I didn't have to.
Right. Like if you didn't, run into a global pandemic, there was a chance, that you could have just pivoted to another job and it would have been all right or whatever. But beware if you are in this scenario that number one, if you're getting paid under the table, if you need for some reason to utilize the system that acknowledges that money, you're going to have to acknowledge the money, and then, and also if you're 1099, like those taxes are not coming out.
Yeah.
It's like 30% is what you should be setting aside. And I've never not been fucked on that,
Oh yeah.
Anytime I've like, gotten, cash from this, like I'm, put this aside. It's like, I'm never, for me, if I'm making 1099 money, it's never enough money to not need that 30% later.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, oh fuck, I guess I need this. And it's like, yeah, you're just gonna, okay, well, there it goes,
Yep, you're fucked now.
Yeah.
Beware.
And what sucks too is like, especially because you're like comics, because I'm 34, I'm turning 35 in a few days, and it's like when we started comedy, you just got paid under the table, and I've always just been like, yeah, under the table money's great. Like I don't even care because I don't have to think about it. It's just cash in my pocket, and it's just like, so then but it's not good. You need that table
once
money.
It gets to a certain level. If it's $50, great.
Right.
But once it gets to an amount of money that you want to do something with, it can be troublesome.
Yeah.
Right. It's unfortunate, and because it's like fun to live like a cool bohemian lifestyle and just be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do whatever it takes to be a comedian and whatever. But at some point, you just grow out of that. Like you literally grow into the spot where it's like, oh shit, like my ankle hurts.
Yeah,
it would
I
be
can get
nice
into big
to go
trouble.
to the doctor.
Ooh. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like that type of shit starts to, and the reality of like, dang, I owe like a couple $1,000s as a thing. Like, damn, that sucks. And then you like, well, what if I owed like a couple $100,000 because of the medical bill?
Yeah.
Like, I really need health insurance.
Yeah.
And I like really need to like get my shit together. They're like, I took a long time living that like fun bohemian lifestyle. Probably too long to like really grow up and be like, I need to get my shit together a little. I had a lot of fun in the process.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I bet.
Well,
Killer
also,
nights.
to give you some credit, like you wouldn't be where you are now, and I don't mean like career wise. I just mean like personally. Like you wouldn't have the kind of, I would guess, like maybe you feel differently, but like a degree of like not peace, but like just like clarity of just like, well, I kind of just need to do this,
For sure. And there is like a little bit of the like I've had my fun type of thing where like I really do know like I don't have a huge desire to like go out and party all the time because I did it. So it's like I can really like chill for the rest of my life and be pretty fine with it.
Yeah, you didn't feel like you left anything on the table, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I went for it in pretty much every sense. So it's like, well, this is like, are you guys originally from LA?
No, I'm from NorCal.
I'm from North Carolina.
You are, but you moved down. You're in LA now. Like even that alone, like taking the risk of moving somewhere to like follow the dream. That little bit of shit. It's like I've always at least taken those risks and steps in my life to be where I don't really feel like I for sure have regrets, but it's not about my actions,
Right.
It's more about stuff that I didn't take, those options that I didn't take, or those opportunities,
Dude, that's deep, man. You're speaking my soul.
But yeah, but for real, because it's like I got to do a lot of cool stuff. I'm into it. I'm not pissed about where I am, but the reality is like, I need to get my shit together.
Yeah. You're just like looking back at all those backflips you did, and you're like, no, not a regret on me.
Right.
Every pool you jumped into from the roof, you're like, that was me, baby.
That was fun.
Well, and also there's like, shit, I lost it. But there was, fuck.
Sorry, Chase.
No, it's fine. No, but there was
backflip joke.
It's something about that like, even if like no matter what, you can't win any game if you're dead.
Yeah.
Like if you're like we're going to get into this because that's one of our final questions to close the pod, but like if and when comedy comes back full force and like I for sure want to get as hard back into stand-up again, like bottom line is as that continues, like okay, well here's my baseline that I kind of need to maintain if it's going to be sustainable for me. And like again, you can't get up on stage. You can't do that one weird creative idea that you had if you're always, in my case, just worried about how you're gonna be. Like I'm just worried about my physical body safety. Like it's just like I was talking to another comic, Jason Webb, about this, but friend of the show. He's like, I was poor and like sad for a while doing comedy and didn't make me any funnier. And it's cool. Again, the bohemian, like, let me try this, let me try that. But like, I don't think I got any better. I got better comedy because I was doing it more, not because I was poor, and just like fucking desperate.
Yeah, totally agree. I think that like sometimes comedy can actually beat up the funny part of you with that poor shit, with just like the struggling artist shit can get in the way. Like sometimes I feel like the funniest I am is when I'm happy. And it's just like, and if I'm so far from that, I'm not very funny. And I'm not getting better at it.
If you're at least halfway happy, you think your ideas might be good.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as a baseline.
I agree with you 100% that anybody gets funnier from doing it. Not from anything, like
not from
if you're starving yourself to do it 100 times a day. The whole point is that like if you're working a day job that whole time and then going and grinding at nights just the same way as that other person is, you're both getting better, and one person gets to like eat the whole time, and
one person gets to get as many avocados as they want.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You're like maybe a little bit more tired than the other person, but that's about the only difference.
Yeah, and I think with comedy, with stand-up especially, it's one of those things that you just get good at what you practice. It's like like any national famous headliners are not like, oh, it would be really good. My hour would be really good if I did it for 6 comics at an open mic every night. It's like, no, they go to the thing they want to be good at, crowds or whatever, So when that's why I was never like a grinder like that, because it didn't take long for me to go, oh, this it feels like diminishing returns. I'm more tired. I feel less creative. and I now believe less in a few jokes than I did when I went out tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I get that.
Well, Chris, we always end the podcast with 3 questions to loop back to this job. First question is, when were you done and how did you quit? Which we have an answer to that. He ran out of money.
Yeah. Well,
And-
dude, it was pretty fun because it was like in the pandemic was starting
Right.
and nobody really knew what was going on and was like,
Mhm.
can we even work or not?
Yeah.
And so we were like questioning that. And I had talked to my boss one day about it and was like, so what do you think? And he goes, well, dude, I'm like out of money. I was like,
It just so happens that it was March 1st, 2020.
yeah, pretty much. He was like, he's like, I pretty much can afford to pay you for like 6 days this month.
Oh my God.
And I'm not really sure about next month. And I was like, okay.
Oh, man. He was like, he was like, Chris, bad news. You were like, the pandemic. He was like, that too.
Right.
But
What pandemic?
local bad news?
Right. I'm personally going through a terrible strife. So now, so are you. So yeah, it was pretty intense. It was an interesting way to find out that you don't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the company can no longer pay you.
It's not just
Like-
that we can't, it's that we won't.
One
Yeah.
might call this a pandemic of our wallets.
That's right. And it was.
Yeah. Okay. And then question number 2 is, what's one good thing that you would say you took from that bad job?
Now there's a lot of good things about that job, to be honest. But if I have to say one thing, I'm going to say that I've developed a real, I no longer fear tools of like any sense.
All right.
Oh,
Like
that's awesome.
I will happily, like you show me something, I'm like, ooh, I want to try it. I want to
Mhm.
try that freaking whatever the hell. It seems fun
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
dangerous and kind of scary.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I'm happy to give it a shot.
Yeah. Someone's
It's-
like, look at
it's,
this belt
I-
sander. You're like, let's go.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
now know how to like use tools comfortably
Mhm.
of any sort, and
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
that's like a real
That's
game
amazing,
changer
yeah.
in my
Uh-huh.
brain. Yeah,
And can you feel confident like building something? Like if someone
Yeah,
was like, see, like that's what I thought you might go with too. Is like
Mhm.
that seems like amazing. Just to be
Yeah.
like, if I have a backyard one day, maybe I'll build a fire pit.
for sure.
You know?
Like
Mhm.
currently, have been the last like few months been refurbishing old furniture,
Oh, tight.
Mhm.
and it's like
Mhm.
it's super duper easy. But
Mhm.
also, I think that's because I know how to do a lot of this stuff already.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and just have like a lot of what to me is like common knowledge I've gathered over the last couple of years, you know.
Uh-huh.
Definitely.
Mhm.
So it's definitely helped in my like hobbies and other shit anyway. But
Mhm.
tools would be the big one that it like there's no fear in
Yeah.
and stepping
That's
into
really cool.
trying to do something
Mhm.
like that.
You never know when you need a shelf, you know?
Mhm.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
putting up a shelf.
Mhm.
A fun time.
Yeah. Find the
Mhm.
studs. You know what I mean?
Oh. So fun.
Question number 3, not related to that bad job. I mean, we've kind of already touched on it a little bit, but like, there's been a pandemic, like everyone's dream has been sidelined, and not everyone, I mean, maybe painters, they haven't. But like, how's that going for you?
It's interesting. Obviously live comedy has been sidelined pretty hard.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I have not really done a lot of Zoom shows. I've done some, but I don't love it, so I'm not really trying super hard to get booked on them or anything.
Uh-huh.
I haven't really been writing a lot or anything. Don't have a ton of comedy like happening in my life.
Mm.
However, I do get checks for my freaking album if it
Mhm.
sells at all, or the spins that it gets on whatever the fuck
Mhm.
satellite or whatever. And that is like, oh yeah, it is a constant source of income. While
Mhm.
it's definitely not a lot and certainly not enough to live on, not even close.
Yeah.
It's a nice little bit of money to get
Mhm.
every couple months.
Mhm.
So in theory, to me, when this all starts back up, I do have the ability to go on the road to some places,
For sure.
and, like headline some weekends.
Yeah.
And do that kind of thing throughout the year
Mm.
and build up some time again.
Mm.
And I would love to put out another album eventually.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
have some sort of, that's kind of, to me, my future in comedy will be putting out albums and doing something like that, and
Yeah.
while continuing to make money, like regular
As
steady
best you can.
income.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then making albums, because that's like not only a fun way to make a second sort of income, which is tight, because I've never looked at comedy as a business, which has also fucked me pretty hard in multiple ways throughout the 12 years, rather
Yeah.
than just like having fun and seeing what could happen.
Mhm.
So there's like, that was what I want to do, is like set aside certain weekends to go out onto the road to the places that I really like, that I have set relationships with already,
Right.
and be able to perform good comedy in cool places, that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
and then put out albums.
Yep.
And be able to keep having fun going to like the places and doing it the way that I want to. Basically.
Yeah, there's like a
Yeah,
frame
yeah.
for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it started to look different than the like, oh my god, I want to be the best comedian that's ever lived type
Yeah.
of thing, and more of like,
Yeah.
okay, let's figure out a way to make income and keep
Keep doing it.
being able to actually put out as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staying in the game on
Exactly.
your terms.
Exactly.
Well, that's great. Chris, where can people find you on the internet? You have a podcast, your album?
I do have a podcast. It's called Sports Bullies the Game. It's insane. It is. It's even hard to describe. I do it with my good friend David Van Huysen, and it has nothing to do with sports. We interview comedians in a sports format. I don't even know. It's hard to explain. It's really, really silly. I should be able to explain it. That is not a very good pitch for my own product to say that I don't really know
But
what
you
it
could
is,
listen to it
but I don't
and
really
you'd
know what
find
it
out.
is.
Yeah.
Exactly. It may be your cup of tea. It's very absurd comedy. It's very silly. We've had guests on there say it feels like they're having a stroke.
Okay.
But
yeah,
some
so
people
hilarious.
some people also really like it. So we'll see. I also have my album is called Brain Thoughts, and it's on Special Thing Records. And then you can find me on the internet, but I'll be honest, not super active. But Instagram is probably where I'm the most active.
Yeah.
So if you want to check
I
out
see you
some
in
of
the
that
stories a
furniture,
lot.
yeah, if you want to check out some of that furniture I'm redoing,
Nice.
Sharpie Comedy, CHARPIE Comedy on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm also on Facebook, I guess. I don't
We
know.
will put all those links in the show notes as well. So
yeah,
if you're
right on.
watching on YouTube, and if you need to find us on YouTube, it's FCK This Place on YouTube. It's in the little down below thing. And if you're listening, I think on Apple Podcasts, you just swipe up and all the notes are there, so you can just start clicking.
Perfect.
Chris, it's been incredible. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
Right
doing
it's
it.
been awesome.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And fuck this place, I guess.
Fuck this place.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Thanks so much to Hopsy Daisy, who gave us 5 stars. Hello! And they say, amazing! So fun listening to Nick and Chase. Great chemistry, friendship, and lighthearted spirits. You both rock. And there are several, I won't tell you how many, 100 emojis. So, thank you so much to Hopsy Daisy. If you want to leave a review, you know where to do it. It's whatever you're listening to this on. Okay, bye for now. Fuck this